Wrasslin, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCast. Tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it like just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash. Straight to the face, I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.
Hey, welcome to Wrasslin with them Wrasslin boys. I'm the POT alongside my tag team partner Big E, and we're here to bring you an episode of premium wrestling content. What's going on, bro?
What do you say, brother? Welcome to Wrasslin, episode 68. Do you got one for me?
I got a real good one for you.
Okay, before you get to it, these 50s, 60s, and 70s are usually linemen. You know what I'm saying? So they don't get all the glory and the praise, but they do all the work.
I have a great one for you.
I do too.
Great one.
Go ahead.
Corey
Hunter. That was put your helmet on, Corey. Hey, nobody's gonna really get those, but they're funny as hell to us, and that's all that really matters.
Oh,
man. That was the best one.
Great.
That was the best one ever.
Bro. Great minds thinking like that.
Yes, sir. That was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah, man, it's welcome to Wrasslin episode 68, man. We back like Jordan with the 4-5, brother. Yeah, man, let's get into it because we got a lot to talk about this week. It's WrestleMania is in full swing. We are almost there. Everything's getting set up. It's the cars starting to fill up. Had some doozy of some storylines going on this week. So let's just jump on in it, man. We'll talk Raw a little bit. And we'll end it there's a couple of things to talk about SmackDown, but there's only really one thing to talk about, and we'll get into that and we'll end with that. But bro, let's talk Stephanie and Cody to kick off Raw. Stephanie's been doing her thing with the podcast, and I think it's been real good. I like the way she's been doing it and going about it. Been very enjoyable, as you would say. But she was definitely Stephanie McMahon Monday night. Yeah. What'd you think about it? Tell me your thoughts.
Well, first of all, to be completely honest, of course, Cody's on SmackDown.
Right.
But I understand he's still the face of the company, like really the baby face of all baby faces with the company the past few years since he finished the story. So him being on Raw wasn't a surprise, really, because every now and then he'll show up on Raw, especially Day in the Garden. But we know he got this thing with Randy. We know Randy was talking to somebody on the phone. The whole thing with Stephanie was like kind of confusing because like, well, what role does she play in this? Like,
right.
It's not like she even been a character on TV in years.
Right.
So it was like, so that was very intriguing in itself, Now, the promo that she cut was very interesting because she talked about he don't know Randy.
Right.
This Randy will devour you if you don't change what I see in you right now, Cody. This Cody this version of Cody can't beat this version of Randy. And that's a tough pill to swallow.
Right. Right.
But you mentioned that she was also Stephanie McMahon because she slapped the shit out of him.
I mean, the dog, DAWG shit, the dog shit. She definitely did that. Yeah, I think it was a more of a to try to get you to also think that maybe she was the one talking to Randy, but also was there for just motivation for Cody. And being there for Cody. But you also, you know, kind of hard to be at Raw and be in the garden without a McMahon on TV. You know what I mean? So, like
Absolutely.
she said, that's the house that her grandfather built.
Absolutely.
And if you know the history of the garden with wrestling, it was only for WWE, and that's what a lot of people always talked about when they finally got to go to WWE that were around a lot of other places. They kept talking about going to the garden, getting to go to the garden because nobody else was ever allowed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So there's, you know, a little history there. But yeah,
Right.
And let me ask you something real quick before we move on. Who do you think is going to induct Stephanie in the Hall of Fame?
Triple H.
Do you think so? You don't think they try to get Shane to do it, bring Shane back?
I mean, that would be cool, but
Yeah.
you asking me a question, I think it's gonna be Triple H. I mean, hell,
Because there's some rumors going around that Vince is going to be at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I think they're too. I think it's too early still. I think it's still a little too early, but you know, with wrestling, you never know.
I mean, I understand that it's probably. I understand why you would say it was too early because it. I mean, this just happened a few years ago with the Chargers and you know just that whole thing there. But
Yeah.
I mean, Vince is pretty old too. I mean, it's like
bring him back now.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know, you know, but just saying, you know, like, okay, maybe next year, maybe next year, maybe next, you know what I mean? Because you go, I mean, you know, I mean, who knows, man? I don't know, you know, because TKO seems like they're a different beast, but that's another story for another time, you know.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Usos losing the titles. Kind of saw that coming. You know, I said last week, I said Jey Uso's a new tribal chief. You know, like he calling the shots, but I don't know where they're going. I don't know if he's going to turn heel with Roman. I don't know if he's going to turn heel and Roman follows with him, and his brother's like, okay, whatever, I'm with y'all, whatever. You know what I mean? Do they get a rematch at WrestleMania with Logan Paul and your boy Austin Theory?
It would have to be, man, because there's no way that they're not going to lead them off the WrestleMania card. I mean, that's the last thing left.
Right.
You know?
And you got to put, and they got to be on the card.
Yeah.
You know?
Probably going to rematch for, you know, I mean, they probably going to be shenanigans and CM Punk and Roman Reigns, obviously. We would think right now, but like as far as them having a match, you know, because division, even though division went through the injuries and no Braun Breaker, no Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, of course, rumored to be like cleared, but for some reason, I guess they didn't want to pull the trigger on doing what was the original plan was, and also I think the whole thing with Rey Mysterio, with you know, with him. His injury situation, then Gunther they left Gunther without a match as well. So it kind of makes sense why they went and pivoted and went with Seth and Gunther. But you know,
well, LA. That's what I was thinking that why not throw LA Knight in there because you don't have him on there yet, and his biggest thing is the Vision. That's who he's after.
Yeah. So what but true. But
Or do you put him?
What's the LA Knight role going to be?
Yeah, I mean, just the guy beef with them, and that's the next one up. I guess that would be the only
No, I mean, no, I
thing.
understand that, but what I'm saying is like especially talking about WrestleMania.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, LA Knight don't have a tag team partner. You know,
No,
they
no, okay. No, I'm saying if you went to Brian with Brian Breaker, the
oh
LA Knight,
oh
that's what I mean.
well, they gonna do that. They had to do it Monday.
Right. So yeah, they would have to bring him back. He would have to make his return. And if not, I guess they throw him into the ladder match for the IC title that was announced that Pence is going to put it up on the ladder match.
Who, LA Knight?
Yeah, well, I guess you just throw him in there. Because you got to have him on the card, right? Because all the, everybody
You
loves
would
him.
think, right? That's LA Knight.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
gotta hear the people say, yeah.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, for real, that's what they do.
Right.
But
So
I don't know.
also you had a vignette for Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania, which I think will be a smooth, good, awesome match. I think Finn's gonna be showing, guys are gonna show out anyway because everybody wants to steal the show.
Yeah.
Those guys are still competitors. You know what I mean? You got a lot of old school guys still in it. Still main event and whatnot, and they want to steal the show, and they want to be, talked about. They want the other guys to go after him to be the upset. Like, damn, we got to follow that. You know what I mean? So,
right.
Yeah, you got Brock Lesnar showed up on Raw ready to rock and roll. And had the trunks on, not the draws, but the trunks. Like the UFC trunks and his gloves, and had the Vader gloves on. We don't call them the Undertaker gloves; those are the Vader gloves from them. Them Vader blows.
Them POT specials.
Yeah. We're not a fan at all. And then you had Triple H getting to show up. So Steph and Triple H were both on TV.
Right.
So I really think I think it's going to be a fight, but I really think Brock Lesnar's going to go over. I know we ain't doing predictions right now. We're just talking about everything getting set up, but I truly believe he don't go down till his last match. It just don't seem to make any sense. Tell me
but what's intriguing is it don't make no sense for Oba to lose too.
Right. So what do you think happens then? Or do you want to wait and go another week?
I want to wait, man, because I'm with you though. We heard the rumors that, of course, allegedly that he's gonna go down in SummerSlam, which we all assuming that's gonna be Gunther. Also, with we'll talk about this Seth and Gunther. But it's kind of intriguing with the whole Paul Heyman effect, which we'll talk about that. But with the situation with Brock Lesnar, Oba, we heard that Brock wants to win his last WrestleMania match. It's hard for me to see Brock losing 2 big matches in a row to end his career, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, man.
Well, we'll make our predictions in a couple of weeks. Tell me what you think about Finn and Dom going at it, and what kind of match that's going to be.
I mean, with how stacked the card, honestly, how stacked the card is right now, it's, for me, it's down there on the list. But I already know that this could steal the show because, like you said, of the performance. Very intriguing story in itself. I mean, we saw this a mile away. That's what they do, but it's coming to a head, and it's cool that it is at WrestleMania. I wish the IC title was still a factor in the situation.
In play, yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not mad at Penton having the IC title, you know, and that situation. But with the Dom Finn situation, I kind of wish the IC title was kind of still in play. But it, I mean, I think it's gonna be cool, and but it's not high on the food chain for me, as far as my exciting meter.
Right. It ain't jumping off the meter to when you talk about WrestleMania. That's not one of the 2-3 matches you're thinking about.
Nah. But I'm not. But at the same time, I'm not saying that they won't perform and it could potentially steal the show. Because we know that can happen. And probably will happen. We know that they're going to be doing their thing in the ring. So I'm just talking about just the marquee of it.
Yeah. Well, like you just talked about a minute ago, we found out Seth is cleared, and he got attacked by Gunther, so it's going to be looking like him and Gunther at WrestleMania. Does Gunther become a Paul Heyman guy, even though Paul Heyman wasn't involved and he left without even looking at him? After he got blasted with the chair, is that something that you do? Especially if they got the Brock Lesnar thing at SummerSlam, that comes in play.
You know what? This could potentially come full circle. Think about it when, they tell these slow stories.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins. Paul owed him a favor. Matter of fact, he did the favor for Punk. Remember, All Star the favor.
Yeah.
Survivor Series, he did the favor for Punk. Because remember, he joined the Bloodline. Roman and them in that War Games, he needed a favor. What was the favor? You got to be in my corner at WrestleMania in a triple threat with him, Roman, and Seth. Of course, he turned on Roman, but of course, it was a double cross because he really joined Seth. Why? Because he owed Seth a favor. Remember, Seth could have curb stomped him, and he didn't. But it was like, oh, now you owe me a favor. So this could be where another favor
comes into play.
Come back into play.
Yeah. I like it. We also found out the women's tag team title is going to be a 4-way match. And we'll talk about that when we figure out who all the participants are or whatnot. I think they announced it. I do know Charlotte and Alexa Bliss will be a part of it. So,
it's of course the boozy, irresistible forces.
Yeah,
tag team champions, and it's going to be Lyra, Bailey, Charlotte, Alexa, and the Bella Twins.
Okay. Bella Twins aren't going to win, so we can cross them out right now. Okay. Well, that could be slick. That's how they incorporate, a lot of the women into WrestleMania when you do a match like that. So we'll talk about it when we do our predictions and everything. We'll get to that. Let's talk a little AEW for a second. And, we have been talking about it for months now. When is Jericho going to make his return? What's his contract status like? We found out a couple of weeks ago that they were treating his contract like Ray Phoenix and would pause it on the dates that were missed for him to make up. So he did return Wednesday on Dynamite, did say he was home. So it looks like he's there for the time being. That's one of them that was like, you really, really thought, of course you didn't know details, but you really thought he was coming to WWE. But hey man, as long as you got Chris Jericho in wrestling to enjoy for the next year or a couple years or however long he keeps doing it, at least you got the opportunity to watch it. wherever he's at. It's going to be good, and you and enjoy it while it lasts, because he's not going. They can't do it forever, ladies and gentlemen. So saw a lot of people were pissed that he didn't go to WWE. Some people were pissed that he's back with AEW. Some people are happy. Some people don't care, and just enjoy it while you can, no matter what company they're at. Because time is whittling away.
Well, my stubbornness was pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I'm not mad at Chris Jericho decided obviously to keep wrestling. And I'm not mad really that he decided to stay at AEW. I'm more disappointed, because
Right. Yeah.
and a lot of it also is it's not just that it's Jericho coming back home, but the way he reinvents himself. I was just curious to see what it was going to be like if he came back to WWE. You know what I mean? What was going to happen with the theme song? Was it going to go back and break the walls? What was it going to look like? What was his whole? Because I know he wasn't going back to anything old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he wasn't coming with the learning tree and none of that. You know what I mean? You knew he was going to come with something, just different and just being an innovator or something, and so I was really kind of curious to see how that was going to play out, but didn't pan out, at least right now it didn't.
Right. Yeah, why would you? I just want to see what he'll do there without Vince being there. Right. That's what has my curiosity. And I still hope he gets to do it. I hope he gets to do it. So, but I will enjoy watching him on AEW and watch him. And hopefully, he did have that purple jacket and stuff on. So I'm still hoping he's the learning tree for a minute before he does something else crazy. Hi guys. You talk about Jericho being funny, man, but him and Kevin Owens together was pure gold. It was gold when they did the best friend stuff, and
you're
the best friend I ever had, and just bro, it was so good.
Jericho's he's a goat, man. Like to be really real, we need to do a Jericho episode.
I'm with it.
Like just really how many ways how he can reinvent himself, and all the stuff he did back in WCW where Ralph is, and the list of 1,004.
We could do our favorite Jericho, the favorite one, because I know which one's my favorite.
Yeah.
So, bro, there was nothing better for him to have that ponytail right here with the hair split, and to try to pin somebody with his foot on them flexing. Yeah, baby. You know what I'm saying? And only get like a 1 count. You know what I mean? Bro.
Yeah.
When it comes to all, there's nobody better. And when he says he's the best in the world at what he does, he ain't no telling no damn lie.
Yeah, I'm the best in the world at what I do. Yeah. But if he, and like you said though, these cats, what Jericho, like 55, something like that. So
yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so like you said, we in the twilight of his career, so whether it is another year, 2 years, or whatever,
it's the last chapter.
Yeah, God bless him, man. And
Edge,
injury free, and keep doing what you love, entertainers, brother.
But you got Edge over there, you got Christian over there. The guys in the last chapter, man, they've been able to come back and do great things, but it's getting close. Of course, you say that, and then you got the Boogie Woogie man, Jimmy Valiant, finna wrestle his last match in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, but that's in some, in Meridian, Mississippi, somewhere.
Don't matter.
I know that, but what I'm saying is, Boogie Woogie's not doing it in AEW.
No, hell no. Right. Yeah, he's
Uh,
doing it in the gym somewhere.
yeah, but
Which
that
is
is
and
crazy though.
no disrespect to that, but you know,
How old is Boogie anyway? He's up there, right?
83. 83.
How 83? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
But
That
you
is
also gotta
amazing.
look. Yeah, it is amazing. It is sad
Yeah,
because you got guys like Mike Jackson that still go and can still do
yeah,
crazy stuff, you know, but
yeah. Well,
it's
I
also
mean
they didn't get paid like them guys get paid now.
that
So
part. That's true.
yeah.
That's
So it's
true.
like, you gotta go till you can't go no more because you still got bills to pay.
Yeah, that part. Also, another part of it. If you think about it from another perspective, it's really difficult for wrestling because they put their bodies on the line too. And to be 60, 70, 80 some years old and still out there doing it is unbelievable in both ways. It's like amazing that they passionate to still want to do this stuff, and then also some of them, like you said, have to do it because they have to.
Right.
And also, I kind of look at it, even though it's not the normal job, but think about it when somebody worked the job for so long. You think of somebody working a career job or whatever, like you work at an office building or a warehouse or whatever,
Yeah.
especially back, a car plant or something. They work all those years, they retire, and then a lot of them, like, kind of their life is over
Yeah. A lot of them
after.
go back or a lot of them pass away real soon
Yeah,
after.
yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
like
crazy.
that's what kept them going. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
So I
yeah,
kind of look at it like that, even though it's wrestling, it's different because
yeah,
of the physicality.
yeah.
Because there's
But
probably more guys go longer than they did because they couldn't do it physically, right?
right, right. And like you got you take the Rock and Roll Express for example, they still work all the time and still do.
Right,
Of course, they do the autograph signings and stuff, and a lot of people are doing that, and they get paid good money to do it. And why not? They go to
right,
these conventions and all that stuff. But people pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to get a picture or autograph, or I mean, it's crazy.
right,
So, but the wrestling that they do, like they slow it down and they can still be, they work these smaller crowds and they can play to the crowd more and get the crowd involved and the fans involved, and go out there and work for 10-15 minutes. The entrance take about 5 minutes,
right,
because you got to talk to every kid in there, and and then they sell their pictures and stuff afterwards. So it ain't like they're going out there, doing 60-minute matches like they did in the 80s.
absolutely,
And it's like, the people still show up to watch them. So it's like you don't even care what they're doing in the ring, you're just getting to see them. You know
right.
what I mean? So it's just like running into Michael Jordan, man. You don't care if you got to see him play basketball, but you did get to see him walk across the street. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, and talk about the conventions and stuff like that. So, Road Dogg left not too long ago. He's been back on the road with Billy Gunn, and they're doing some signings and stuff together. And they were talking about Vince and different stuff like Vince showing up, and then talking about Triple H getting fired after Mania, like it was a rumor. You know, but it wasn't like they were agging on like they did the first time when they got fired long time ago, and they were doing them shoot interviews. Road Dogg wasn't saying nothing. He was like, "Oh yeah," and then but Billy Gunn was agging it on a little bit, but it wasn't that negative. You know what I mean?
That was like an April Fool's joke, right?
What?
They put an April Fool's joke out there too that Stephanie made a statement saying that at the rest, like, they basically they won't be working with the company. Her and Triple H wasn't gonna be working with the company at the WrestleMania.
Right. But that was but I had heard something like that because, bro, like we talked about before, like you don't know what you're reading. It's so much crap out there. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And well, Triple H doesn't run the company; he's just head of creative.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But they're not gonna let Triple H go. Ain't nobody getting rid of that man, not no time soon. And he ain't did nothing too crazy yet. Because you can get mad all you want at different storylines. That everything doesn't work.
Yeah.
Everything doesn't work, and everybody has bad ideas. And even if you go with stuff, you know what I'm saying, that just does not work. People don't get over. Stuff just doesn't happen like you want it to all the time. That's just life in general, and that's business. Because
I just
go ahead.
the way I look at all of that though, man, and we even talked about how the fans complain about everything and nothing's never
Yeah,
good enough, and they hit or miss. You know what I mean? They're not gonna hit on everything, right? They had good stuff, had bad stuff, and we don't like everything either. We all have opinions, right?
right. Yeah, it's been plenty of
But
time we watched wrestling and said, "Man, this is stupid."
yeah,
Yeah,
but TKO is really an issue, man. I mean, it's like some things are better
mm,
as far as overall production, but everything is now it's one big commercial, right?
yeah,
The match, they got all the different sponsors, and everything's different, but just like even obviously we talked about the ESPN thing. Now we got to pay, they have ESPN Plus to watch the PLEs and Raw's on Netflix, and I mean, it's a lot. And
yeah,
now they had an issue with selling out WrestleMania allegedly, and a lot of it is, well, look how much it cost. They outpriced a lot of their core wrestling fans that even would save the little change that they do have to make a road trip and go to WrestleMania. Now it's like they can't even, hell, you can't. I mean, there's people who can afford it, obviously, because they still selling. There's 60, 70,000 people that go to this stuff, right?
right.
Just to
It's two
be in
nights
the
at Raw.
stadium.
Mhm.
Yeah, right. But it's like it's not necessarily because the matches are not marquee.
Mhm.
That's not the reason why they having problems selling out this WrestleMania, which is in 2 weeks.
Right.
You know, so
So let's stay right there and just jump into the Cody Rhodes, Pat McAfee situation, because you spoke of TKO. So clearly, according to what I read, they're the ones that made the decision to bring McAfee in. It wasn't Triple H and them.
that's what I heard as well.
They're the ones that brought it in. They're also the ones that told him to or made that decision. And Creative, when he went out there and did the interview and everything, Creative told him, just say whatever you want to, and basically go out there and shoot. And they didn't go over nothing. And he just went over there and went out the cusp, and he was talking about running off the Attitude Era, which Randy Orton wasn't part of the Attitude Era, and
Right, right. He
and he
more
said another thing
ruthless
about
aggression.
he said another thing about 55-year-olds or 5'5" guys going 50 minutes or something like that, which you ain't seen a 50-minute WWE match in forever. So
Right.
He was just out there shooting and just talking shit, but and then I thought the end part was good because he kept referring to everything when Randy Orton's around. He sounded good, man.
Pat McAfee.
Yeah, but he basically pretty much shit on the business and shit on everything. And
Okay.
let me just, I never understood why you would go on TV and tell everybody what they're watching is a piece of shit. and I get the heel part of it, but that part doesn't seem like that would make sense to put into it. Why would you go and tell everybody that's watching, everybody there, hey, what you're watching is shit, and they got this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this basically shit on the show that they're supposed to be paying to watch. You see what I'm saying? I never understood that part of it, but bro, they said, and then they even said that Cody, of course, he did all that, turned on Cody. He's the man that's making all the phone calls. Everybody thought it was The Rock or it was Randy Orton from 09 or, whatever. So it's Pat McAfee. And that wasn't creative. So when you get mad about it, don't say Triple H is stupid and this is so dumb. It wasn't even his decision.
Right. Absolutely.
That's that's the owners, that's the board. What you call the corporate people made that decision, not him.
The real Ari.
Right. The real boss, the bosses.
Yeah.
So that's basically going over Triple H's head and saying, this is what we're doing. Y'all figure out how we're going to do it. So you got Pat McAfee, you got Little Yachty finna be in there now. Jelly Roll. Who else? It's another one. They talking about Tom Brady might be there.
Yeah.
And him and Gronk trying to do something for next year or something like that.
Matter of fact, Gronk having some beach party or something like Sunday after WrestleMania. That
Yeah. Man, how would it be to get an invite to that?
Right, but
I mean, they're watching, so let's just say, send us a ticket. We'll be there.
Get Gronk on the episode.
Hey, never mind. Anyway, but so they said, and they also read that I also read that Cody's promo wasn't even on the show. Like they told him when they started seeing the response on social media.
Yeah.
They told him go out there and just shoot, go shoot at the bosses.
Wow.
And they said none of his stuff was scripted. That promo wasn't even supposed to be on until they saw the response how the people weren't liking it. You know what I'm saying? And it was kind of pissed that, bro, he went out there and said, Pat McAfee being the third man or being the guy online is like Kevin Nash and Scott Hall talking about the third man, and it's not Hogan, it's Disco Inferno. That's how disappointed everybody was.
Yeah.
That it's Pat McAfee.
My thoughts on that whole thing was disappointment.
Yeah.
I love Pat McAfee there. He's my favorite sports personality out of all of them, whether it's Stephen A. or Big Perk or Ryan Clark or, the guys on Fox Sports, whatever, man. Michael Irvin, whoever, right? He's done some good things in the wrestling business. Like he earned his stripes. He worked in the ring. The match with Gunther, WrestleMania 38 with Austin Theory wasn't a bad performance, and the stuff he did back with your boy Adam Cole, Bad in NXT. So he's been earned his stripes a long time ago,
right?
In the ring, and
even be on the broadcast team, he was good.
Yeah. So definitely not trying to shit on Pat McAfee, but
at all. But
I was just disappointed because
why?
And because it to me it doesn't make no sense.
This is one of them storylines when you have to ask why, because you don't get it. It's like when you tell your son to do something, he looks at you and says, "Why?" Because he doesn't understand it, and we don't understand this. It makes no sense whatsoever. There's nothing.
What was the whole point of saying that there's more than one wrestling family?
Right.
Even if it was I mean, we can't make it be who it wasn't, right? You know, I know we fantasy booking, right? All the fans are. So, you know, we talking about The Rock or Triple H, or even if it was, I would be disappointed if it was his dad, but even that would make sense, right?
Right.
You
This
know,
makes no sense.
Yeah, it doesn't. You know, and then when you hear that TKO is the one that threw this in there, so let's just say that they actually had somebody else in mind, and then TKO, when did they step in and say we needed to be Pat McAfee?
Right. Who else? Yeah, because who else was it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now is Jelly Roll going to be in the corner with Cody? Because Pat McAfee is going to be in.
Oh man!
Are they going to have a tag match with fucking Pat McAfee and Jelly Roll and Randy and Cody in the next couple of weeks before WrestleMania? Is the fucking tag match on Saturday? Is the tag match on Saturday and the title? You can't do the title match on Sunday because you're putting Randy and CM Punk and Roman Reigns on Sunday.
No, this was gonna happen. They're gonna be the main event at Backlash, the tag match. You know, this feud is not over at WrestleMania.
So you know McAfee and Jelly Roll are tight. He's been on them.
I know.
It fits right in. That part fits it in. So are we just gonna do we need to have like a celebrity, like Thursday nights a celebrity WWE night now? Is that what we're about to have? A whole new show is nothing but celebrities trying to learn how to wrestle. And it's going to be a reality show and they're all going to live together. It's going to be like Tough Enough for old ass celebrities. And you know what I'm saying?
I mean, that'd be a hell of a world too. A Jelly Roll and your boy Bad Bunny.
They got they'll make guest appearances. They ain't gonna do the thing. They got too much going on.
I know.
They've already done it. And then, you know, but you're gonna have people like you gonna have, you know, Charles Barkley, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, Barkley. Now he can't do much, you know what I'm saying? But
he'll be hell a promo class.
Right. You have a couple of Dominicans that retire from baseball, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna do Lucha Libre and then hey man. But seriously, you got all these celebrities that and clearly you're trying to sell tickets. And like you said, it ain't the card, it's the prices.
Yeah.
You know, you got
it's almost like being out of touch with I don't want to say reality, but
you want to ask what kind of crowd are they really trying to go after?
Yeah, well, they already trying to price us out of the hardcore wrestling fans out of it already.
Yeah. That's why we're going to all the indie shows and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's what we at, because you can't tell. Bro, if you got a family, you trying to take your kids, or just saying me and you go, bro, I'm not spending all that money to sit down there front, and I'm definitely not going to spend all that money to sit up top. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't doing it. Bro, if dude wouldn't have got us, man, shout out to Hoot, man. But if Hoot wouldn't have got us those tickets to AEW, you know what I'm saying? I don't know where we'd have been sitting at. Because they was a tad bit pricey too, but it wasn't no WWE pricey though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So But that once we got there, though, you figured the arena, like all the seats were good, pretty much.
Yeah, that was a cool little spot for the size of their crowds, and
Yeah, man. But shout out to Hoop, man, for getting us the tickets. But yeah, that was crazy. But it's just like, what kind of demographic are you looking for to make all these prices? And what do you think is going on, bro? Man, it cost me $105 to fill my truck up. You know what I mean? I mean, what do you really think is going on around here?
Yeah.
You know, and it ain't like all these deals that you got, y'all got to be bringing in the money. You know, cut out the house shows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, y'all killing us.
Like, for real.
You know, and it ain't cool. It ain't cool that you can't, bro. We just supposed to put out $10,000 to go to WrestleMania.
When that Netflix come out every month like clockwork, the ESPN coming out every month like clockwork.
Every month. You got to get Hulu if you want to watch SmackDown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, dude. And then they talking about what, 10-5 for a good, like, what celebrities do you think is finna bring that in just to get somebody to throw down $10,000 to go see WrestleMania? You got a lot of blue collar people listen to McAfee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially during the day while they're at work, stuff like that. Jokers ain't got no $10,000 to go to no WrestleMania. Come on, man. So that's the problem. They making these dumbass decisions up top, and then they pricing the hell out of everything, and now you can't sell out WrestleMania. Come on, man.
Yeah, and it really bothers me when I hear people blaming on Triple H booking.
They got shit to do with it.
Yeah,
they got nothing to do with it, and that's when they want to get online and talk about, all the seats were covered there. Yeah, could have asked for a fortune to go to damn Raw.
Right.
You don't pay no $200 sit up top, $300 sit up top. It ain't like it's your kid's first time going.
Right.
Oh, hell no. We're not doing that. And I ain't finna pay no $2,000 to sit down front on Raw.
Right.
You would think, I ain't gonna say, because we ain't never been able to do it, but that's what I would think. Like WrestleMania would be like a couple thousand.
Right.
You know, but that would be the best seats they got.
That would have been back in
85.
WrestleMania
2 when they didn't know what to do. Yes.
You won't be. Imagine how much Rick Rubin be paying. You know.
Then they probably don't even pay. They probably get to. They probably get to go there for free.
Yeah, well, especially him. You know. But well, he got it though. You know, whatever.
Hell yeah.
You know.
But the people that got it don't never got to spend it.
Yeah, that's true, right? That's that part.
You know what I'm saying? And they get to put them on camera and say they're there and they're big fans and
like a promotion
right.
thing.
Yeah.
Shout out Rick Rubin though, who's silent financier of Smoky Mountain Wrestling. Yeah.
I tell you this, dog. The situation is beyond crazy. And then especially when you start hearing all the rumors and everything and not all the rumors, but all the details. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes in the next coming weeks before WrestleMania gets here. But I'm assuming Jelly Roll and him going to have a confrontation. It's going to be Jelly Roll in Cody's corner. But, you know, from Cody's promo, he thought about turning heel, going dark hair and everything. You know, so I don't know what they about to do. You might get a damn heel versus heel match at that.
You know what? I I wouldn't mind seeing Cody like switch up, you know, uh, go back to the dark hair, the original hair.
Yeah.
You know, that would definitely would be. I don't know, man. You know, who knows? You know, um, but that's what's intriguing about everything, and just think, man, WrestleMania is in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And I
Like,
don't even think we mentioned that John Cena is going to be the host of
right.
WrestleMania. So I did want to say that. Does John Cena induct AJ Styles into the Hall of Fame?
I mean, I can see that.
Yeah. Who do
Not
you
saying
think
that's a,
should? Who do you think should induct him though? You think that would be cool? You
I
think
mean,
John?
out of selfish reasons, you know, of course, I want to see the Good Brothers do it, you know, because them dudes hilarious, especially LG.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
would be cool, you know. But if that don't happen, you know, Cena would definitely be a good choice. Especially, we all know that his mouthpiece is
Yeah. You
amazing.
know they
You know, he,
respect the man. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
They
yeah,
have
that
matches and
that would
stuff.
be cool.
Yeah.
I think
You ain't
he'll
gonna.
do a great job.
Yeah. You ain't gonna let Shinsuke do it. You gonna have to have an interpreter up
Oh, that's good.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You like the
had the dialogue.
Japanese movies.
Yeah.
There's somebody in the background talking while he's sitting there talking. It'd be all kind of controversy. That's not what I say. That's not what I say. Oh man. But yeah, no disrespect, man. Shout out to Shinsuke Nakamura.
You right, but you better be strong style all on your ass.
No, sir. We're
King
fans.
Shasta, King
Right.
Shasta, King Shasta.
No, we're fans. Yeah, we
Like for real.
yeah, we're sorry.
Out there doing the Michael Jackson shit, you know what I mean? 'Cause
No disrespect. For real. But yeah, man, it's everything's getting going. It's gonna be a few more matches added. We'll find out who's gonna be added to the ladder match and stuff like that.
right.
And then pretty soon you'll have the last show standoffs before we go to WrestleMania. So we'll probably do our prediction probably next week or the week after. Just depending on probably the week after. And we'll talk about what we got going on next week. And then before you know
it's gonna have to be next week.
Yeah. Because when we come back, it'll be
because WrestleMania gonna be that next weekend.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, that's why I said it.
That's what I said.
Booty traps. That was You'll keep calling me. I'll go. Hey man. Oh man. I know one thing for sure, brother. It's welcome to wrestling. Hey man, like, comment, subscribe, all that. We appreciate everybody. Love y'all. Go ahead.
I gotta say this.
With your ET finger.
With my ET finger. Phone. Phone. Well, that's perfect because I want to talk about the cabin real quick.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Shout out to the Benton and Weeks family. All the Daniel and his younger brothers' birthdays 10 days apart. They all celebrate their birthday this weekend. The middle brother, Justin, is April 3rd, so his was Friday. Youngest brother, Steven's April 10th. He's turning 40. Celebrating his 40th. Justin's 42nd. Daniel, which is April 13th, is 47.
He'll be turning 52.
Nah.
Daniel will be turning 52 years old. Dan B graduated in 87.
Nah.
Dan B, you slap glass to Adidas socks on, man. Dan B graduated didn't have breakaway rim. Just lay it in.
I want to say when they did have breakaway rims. Damn.
I grab it. Just lay it in there.
Hell no. That was before their doctors made them change all that. But
he wasn't a real rocker. He was a real saver. He laying it in. He slapping glass.
Oh man, boy.
Oh, that man, he's 52 years old, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to Dan Ben. Go ahead, bro. Finish it.
47 people, 47. But man, it was a cool trip up here in the cat. We in Morganton, Georgia, which is Fannin County. So we up here in the mountains.
Up yonder.
Yeah, up yonder. And cool little getaway, man. Really got a chance to come up here and with his family and kick it, man, and reset. Had a chance to just get away and chill out and reset. Watch the Final Four, and very disappointed with the women's outcome as far as that South Carolina got boat raced by UCLA. But anytime, I don't care what sport it is, and when it's a championship game, no matter what, I ain't had no dog in the fight, but you being in the championship game, you don't want to see a blowout. So it's very disappointing that they got mollywopped the way they did, man.
Yeah,
so, like for real. Yeah. But that's sometimes it be like that, So, but back to the trip, man. Trip was cool, man. Good getaway. So I just want to shout out his family, man, and it was real cool getaway, kicking with them, man. So we leaving back in the morning, man, and it's just beautiful up here in these mountains, man, and it's really it's beautiful up here, man. But definitely got some off-camera stories.
Yeah.
With the ride up here, so.
Yeah, well, y'all be safe back on the road, man, and we'll talk. Me and you'll talk tomorrow. But hey, welcome to Wrasslin, man. Like, comment, subscribe.
Welcome to Wrasslin.
Welcome to Wrasslin, Chetty Bobby. Welcome to Wrasslin with Big E and the PODCAst, tag champs of the whole world, slamming like a DDT. Got it just like a figure four. Hulk Hogan, all they do is flex. Talking wrestling while they get the dough. Off the top like a superplex. Think they letting up? Hell no. Dusty Rose with the elbow. From the corner like a stinging splash, straight to the face. I know you felt those. Hey, y'all crying out for help though. Rising up like the dead man. About to go upside your head like Stone Cold with the bedpan. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Bottom line, if you want the facts, welcome to Wrasslin where you need to be. Chetty Bobby, this show improved like John Cena, you ain't seeing me. Yeah.